Welcome back to First Impressions. My name's Seth Pomeroy. I just watched Babyface from 1933, starring the incredible Barbara Stanwyck. If you don't know Barbara Stanwyck's work, she's one of the best old Hollywood film actresses. She always played these really scrappy, in-your-face, shit-talking women who sort of run circles around the men in the movies. She was in a lot of screwball comedies, but she also did a film noir quite a bit. So this is a pre-code movie, which means this is before they really had hardcore limitations on what you could do in a movie, meaning sex, violence, or anything that was deemed by society as like fringe. So there is violence and there is sex in this movie. They don't show it explicit like it's fucking Basic Instinct or something. Although I would say the character in Basic Instinct is somewhat hearkening to this kind of character. And I bet Sharon Stone is a fan of Barbara Stanwyck. So they're not that far off. The idea of the film is basically this young girl who lives with her father during Prohibition era at sort of like a speakeasy house. She works as like a barmaid there. She's miserable. Nobody shows her any respect. It's implied that she's sort of consider the neighborhood harlot. And then it's also implied that her father may have led her to this by making her a prostitute when she was 14. This is mentioned in the movie. Like I said, pre-code. And so a series of unfortunate events take place and she's left alone. She's not sure what she wants to do with her life or where she's going to go now that she has nowhere to stay, nowhere to live, nowhere to work. So this man, he's one of the regular people who come in there that treat her with respect and talk to her. Is always telling her, you know, you're smarter than people give you credit for and you deserve so much more from life. She comes to him, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, who I am, what my life's going to be. And he basically tells her, screw your way to the top. You can. You're a woman. Men are stupid. You can manipulate men with sex, and you should. So that's what she does. She gets a job in the big city at a bank, and she one by one works her way up literally the floors of the building, sleeping with men, getting promotions along the way. That's the comedic element of it is, holy shit, is she really doing this? And yes, she is. And she turns it on like a superpower. A man will dismiss her, and then she's like, oh, really? You sure you want to tell me to go away? And then they instantly fall for it. It is amazing because she really just flips it on like a switch and manipulates one man after another, including a young John Wayne. And like I said, it's a comedic movie, but there's a lot of dramatic elements. I even kind of thought it reminded me of Promising Young Woman had it not got into like a kidnapping men and that thing. But the manipulating part of Promising Young Woman is very similar to Babyface. And Hustlers, the movie Hustlers, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. And like I said, it's a comedic movie, but there's a lot of dramatic elements and there's a lot of tragedy mixed in with a comedy, especially in the back half. It has some sort of conventions in its payoff that feels like old Hollywood, but on the way there's so much stuff that feels modern and just in your face. I haven't seen a lot of pre-code movies, but I was surprised by this because I thought numerous times throughout, I thought like, oh, well, I know it's pre-code, but they probably won't. And then they did it every time. So that's what's great about this movie is it's got a real freshness to it that you don't expect from old Hollywood movies.